You're good.
All right, Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez back at the final word. Good afternoon, Colorado. Little technical difficulties previously, but we are here and we have 2 hours of coverage for you today. I am joined by my partner, Alex Ramirez. Alex, good morning, baby. Or good afternoon. It was morning. Now it's afternoon. How you doing, buddy?
In Mexico, it's called Buenas tardes, which is good evening. All right, good afternoon. It was an early show, but it's all good.
It's fine. We're good to go.
It happens.
Hey, so let's start by talking about our good friends, the Denver Nuggets. And I say that because Alex and I even have a personal relationship with Josh Kroenke. We've been covering that team since 2013. A big win for the Nuggets last night, 120-101 over the LA Clippers. And Alex, before we get to all the wonderful guests we have, your thoughts on the Denver Nuggets winning a big Game 7 last night.
It was about time, man. I mean, they wanted that last year when they got that taste out of their mouth when they lost to Minnesota up by 20 in the semis. And then, they're not going to do that again. It was going to happen again. Christian Brown said, he had his phone saved to say, it's not going to happen again, Game 7. Yeah, man, listen, it was a great Saturday. It was a little bittersweet Saturday because of the Avalanche.
Yeah.
They were up 2-0. I don't want to get into the Avalanche right now, but at the end of the day, man, Kroenke Sports owns both those teams. So it's like, man, which team really dropped the ball? I mean,
well, come on, man. We know which team dropped the ball. It's the Avalanche and Mikko Rantanen, by the way. There were a lot of he had a hat trick. And boy, you talk about Chris McFarland.
Was 2-0, man.
Listen, man, Chris McFarland, the GM of the Avalanche, was getting roasted on Twitter last night. And all I have to say is, hey, earlier in the year when the trade didn't look so good, for Mikko Rantanen, when he was Carolina, he didn't do very well. I heard a lot of people saying, hey, they have stole one, they have stole Natchez, and Mikko Rantanen, good riddance. Well, last night, Mikko Rantanen answered the bell. The Avs out of the playoffs, Nuggets in the playoffs. We were busy at the Denver Coliseum, the Colorado Spartans with their fourth straight victory, another home win over a very, very game. The Wheeling Miners team that actually had a great quarterback in Craig Russell, who got beat up 41-26, I believe it was. A great game for the Colorado Spartans, and a game they trailed going into halftime. And Alex, they pitched a shutout in the second half. Nick, you were on the YouTube call with me. I'll ask both of you guys your thoughts now as the Spartans moved to 5-2. Nick, what were your thoughts on the game last night?
It was a team that shows they can make adjustments. Like you said, they were trailing at the half, and we talked about they needed to make some kind of adjustments, especially offensively, and they sure did, because the defense showed up again in full power and pitched a shutout, and the offense did enough to make transitions that they looked amazing in the second half. The Spartans team we were used to.
Yeah, it was a great game last night. It was a collective win by the organization last night, the Colorado Spartans. It was a great victory from every angle, I want to say, from the broadcast team to the dancing team to, Joey and I and Nick doing everything. And there was also Military Appreciation Night last night. And one of the MVPs of the game was Jack Robinson, number 90, military, Marine Corps.
Yep.
It was awesome to see last night how everything came to fruition. It was a tough victory. Tony was, right there. He's sitting right here in the corner. Watch him here.
First of all, the people on YouTube, just so you know, we're joined in studio right now by Tony Thompson and Jack Thomas, or Jack Thompson, Tony Thompson and Jack Robinson. Yeah. Also Corey Henry, my dude, number 0. This guy, literally, he's making life hell for opposing quarterbacks and opposing offensive linemen. They want no part of him. This guy is through the gap. Jack Robinson, though, the defensive player of the game. Hey, look, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to be back with Jack Robinson, defensive player of the game. We'll bring in Tony Thompson live and Corey Henry. We're going to have all the Spartans. And by the way, man, I think one of the other things, Coach Payne did a heck of a job last night. He's here as well. We're going to have Spartan segments
talk about
coming up next.
Let's
and Bill Foss from Suavecito Tequila. He's our man. They're all going to be coming up real soon when you rejoin the final word on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
This is madness.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. This is Sparta!
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez, we are back on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel, the final word, and it is Colorado Spartans segment, and that will include our great friend Bill Foss from Suavecito Tequila, Corey Henry, defensive lineman, the owner, Tony Thompson, but of course, we are going to start with our good friend Jack Robinson, number 90, defensive player of the game, and what a fitting tribute, being that it was Military Appreciation Night, and, you know, you had some key deflections in that game, and you were nominated as the defensive player of the game. Also, you know, being a veteran like myself, I'm an Army guy, 4 years. First of all, thank you for your service. You know, it's a tremendous honor to be in the booth with you. And you played a hell of a game last night. There was an injury to Logan Stewart early in the game, so Byron Cooper had to drop back into linebacker, and in comes Jack Robinson. And on the broadcast, whenever a backup comes in, you know, you're going to say that there's going to be a drop-off in play. And what I noticed about you is I didn't see a significant drop-off in play. And I want to congratulate you because that's hard to come in off the bench. Everybody says they're prepared, but when you're a reserve, you really do need to be prepared. Can you talk a little bit about what a joy it was to earn the defensive player of the game on Military Appreciation Night? And what a big victory for the Spartans. And hey, we know we got to get you out of here pretty soon. Yeah. So, hey, we'll make it short, but thanks and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it was nice. It was fun playing. All the defensive line, they were doing their thing. Corey Henry, Sam, they were getting in, making sacks. It was a fun time.
Listen, last night when we were hanging out and we were deciding who the, MVP, Alexi Rosario got the offensive MVP. The guy plays running back, plays wide receiver.
And he plays everything.
He plays everything. I think he's even a coach too, a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes runs some coaches' plays. Listen, when it was a no-brainer with you, you had some key stops, some blocks, some deflections that really propelled the Spartans to get their victory last night. 4-0 in the Denver Coliseum. All right. And then you were there. We gave you the bottle of Suavecito. Bill is right here. And everybody's always wanting to get the coveted bottle, and I even asked you right now, I'm like, did you drink it? He's like, no, man, it's on my backpack, but I'm going to get it tonight. So talk about last night's performance and the crowd. And it was an organizational victory, what Tony Thompson has orchestrated with his entire crew. It came down from the dancing team to the maintenance team to our PR team to the broadcast team to everybody that was participating. We got that dub last night. That was the most important thing, right?
Yeah, it was good. The crowd was amazing. With the crowd being amazing, cheering us on, doing everything. It was a fun time. Especially the first half. The first half was little tougher. Then we finally got it together on the second half.
Well, let me just say this. We have Tony Thompson sitting there, and you guys are friends too. I mean, what's nice, Tony is much like we are in advertising. We're friends with our partners, and they always say, don't be friends with your players, don't be friends with your coaches, but Alex and I have built a family by building those friendships. And what I love about
that
Tony
in the first quarter last night when Tony was yelling at me on the mic, man.
Well, listen, man, he has standards. He has high standards. But could you calm down? Can I finish, please? Thank you. So what I'm trying to compliment Jack about is, and the overall scheme of things is, you want to play for Tony. You guys are trying, and the ownership in the NAL, it's not all the same. Not every ownership group is the same. And I want to give a big shout out to Tony for taking this upon his shoulders and really being good to the players and the fans and ourselves
and the sponsors.
He's done a great job. Talk about how long you've known Tony and a little bit. Share some little stories about it.
I've known Tony my whole life. I knew Tony my whole life, and I mean, growing up, just seeing him be successful, and definitely want to grow the business of the Colorado Spartans with him, and he does a good job.
Does a great job.
The social, it's good.
You know what I love more than anything? I don't ever get upset when he's giving me constructive criticism. Alex, don't do this, or hey, let's improve on that, or hey, we got this new promotion here. I'm like, let's go, Tony, let's go. And I think it's a new generation of the youngness of how to advertise in this kind of business. I want to see us in the IFL next year, guys. I don't know. Is that something that could potentially happen? Maybe
I think the
not.
NAL is fine. The NAL is good.
All I'm saying is, listen, what we're going with right now,
and it's the AFL, Alex. It's not the IFL. The IFL is not the AFL is the biggest league in town.
Well, all I'm saying is right now with the Spartans being 4-0 at the Denver Coliseum, we've protected home field advantage, and I think it's very important. Maybe the altitude maybe got to them. What are your thoughts?
Well, second half shutout. I mean, something happened.
I don't know. Our line, the D line is holding their own. O line holding their own. I don't think it was the altitude at all. It's just we know we had to win. It was a big win for us, so we just made sure to push through it.
Well, listen, first of all, I want to great game. I know you got to get out of here. You got to catch flight. You go back in between South Dakota in here, I guess.
Yep.
So I just want to say God bless you. Stay healthy. And look, man, some big road games coming up. 3 in a row on the road. I think that will determine the Spartan season. Hey, stay good, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, when we get back, we have our good friend Tony Thompson, owner of the Colorado Spartans, when you return to the final word with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez on the My Life Sports YouTube channel.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is blasting. This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
This is Sparta!
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez, we are back at the Mile High Sports YouTube channel, The Final Word, and we are now joined by the owner of the Colorado Spartans, Tony Thompson. And first of all, Tony, congratulations on another big victory. This one was tough. This one was in doubt until well into the middle of the fourth quarter. You know, I thought this was probably the most impressive victory of the year. There was a rivalry based on the first game where there were some words and some extracurriculars. I didn't see any of that today or last week or last night. I saw a very well executed game plan, especially in the second half. In your mind, Coach Payne, I think, you know, he had a very difficult job this week taking over for Coach Shaw. Yeah. I think he really did a great job. Can you speak to him? And thanks so much. 4 consecutive victories now. The Spartans at 5-2. Your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, no. When we talk about Coach Payne, he's a guy that doesn't have the craziest football background, but luckily we had some guys that have high IQ, like Andre Sale, our quarterback, and then defense. We have a lot of veterans, and you could tell those guys led the charge.
Yeah,
he was there to control it and make sure we didn't mess up in game management, because even I don't care if you're in the NBA or wherever you're at, you still need someone that's in charge at the end of the day. Yeah, you can't just let the players roam. So he did a great job stepping in and doing that. And congrats to our veteran leadership, especially on the D line. On the defensive side, where I like to take pride in, I like to say we have the best defense in the league.
I agree.
I'm a nose guard at heart, so I say that we're the best defense in the league. And the thing is that my veteran D line across the board, and then Byron Cooper being a great middle linebacker last night for us. Those front 4 for us led the charge.
Corey, Sam,
Corey, Sam, Jack, and Byron. They all did their job, and that lets our DBs. Makes their job a little bit easier.
Well, there's one guy I got to throw in there, and that's Aces Candy. I mean, Candy is a baller. I talked to him out to the field, and he's all over. And, you know, as that second backer, he kind of plays as a tweener between a secondary guy and a linebacker. He's like a dime backer. And I can only tell you, man, I think that guy, he's going to make some big – I think he's a real big spark plug to your defense.
You know what's interesting that people don't even know is that Gandy tried out for the team last year as a local guy, as a tryout. He didn't make the team.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, no one knows that story.
So he came back more fierce.
And I said, hey, run, get in shape, because he's from Denver.
Yeah,
he went to Denver South.
Yeah.
But we had some guys in his position. I just didn't think that he could beat out, and he got cut last season. And now this year, I said, if he's not one of the guys that's up there for defensive player of the year, then I'll be a little upset about it, because right now he's playing lights out.
Yes.
You know, to your point there, and you're listening to right now, Tony Thompson on Mile High Sports, The Final Word, YouTube page, and milehighsports.com. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on Twitch. You can catch us on the Facebook page. You can catch us everywhere. And the Colorado Spartans page is actually sharing this interview right now as we speak. Big thank to Lance Mahadas and our entire production team. Listen, you're right, man. You don't know. And you and I were talking during the game. We flow through the entire game, but you have some players here on the Spartans that could play at the next level, like right now. You know, Andre Sale, the quarterback, he was a backup for Joe Burrow in LSU. He played lights out last night. You got Sam Hammond, number 10. Guys, I mean, the guy is a beast. You know, you got Corey Cooper, all these guys, Corey everybody, all these guys can play. And eventually what happens, and I think what happened last night, is the Wheeling ran out of gas.
So you know, I don't interrupt you, but I want to tell you this: when we practice and I work with the defense, especially the D line, we sit down and watch film. I tell everybody we got the best D line in the league, no doubt about that. But best defense overall. But what we do that's different is that we communicate. We communicate like no other. And people don't understand when I say communicate. But if Corey's gonna do something, he'll tell the guy next to him, "Hey, I'm gonna hit him with this move.
I'm gonna do a twist.
Be ready. The quarterback's gonna step up in the A gap right here." Or Sam will say, "Hey, I can beat my guy inside. Corey, be ready. He's gonna leak out." And so Corey knows he can't. He's not gonna go this way. He's gonna go this way.
Yeah.
And then same thing. The linebacker communicates with the nose guard, and I tell the guys, "Hey, if you aren't communicating, then I can't have you out there."
Well, you know why I know they communicate? Because on that blitz where I thought Corey Henry and Hammond might kill Craig Russell, you know the play I'm talking about. Early in the fourth quarter, Russell did not get up for quite some time and was actually taken out of the game after the play. But the other guy who timed his blitz perfect.
He was bent backwards.
Right, but in cohesion, you got to see the way that worked because Byron Cooper also had a perfect gap created, and there was almost 3 guys meeting at Craig Russell. And I'll tell you what, Craig it was actually a very effective guy in the first half. They shut him down in the second half, and it was that hit, those big hits by the defensive linemen. That's what I see, cohesiveness.
And he got their quarterback last year was the MVP of the league. They're a new team in the National Arena League. They ran through their league undefeated. I think in the championship they won by 50 points.
Yeah,
but that quarterback is actually really, really good.
He's a good player, man.
But it's hard.
He got humbled last.
It's hard to throw when you got 3 guys that are hunting after you the whole time.
Well, hey, listen, we got more guys from the Spartans. Before we let you go, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity you provided, Alex, myself, our partnership. And there's bigger things to come.
Yeah,
there's bigger fish to fry. Before I let you go, 3 straight road games, and these are important. You know, we have a couple big ones. Your thoughts, last couple minutes on what these 3 road game means before we come back, before the Spartans come back to prepare for maybe the biggest game of the year with the Omaha Beef.
Yeah, we have Idaho coming up, and then right into Sioux City, Iowa
on Thursday.
Those 2 games alone are their conference games. So
we
have to win those because we need to secure playoffs here in Denver.
Win and you're in, right? We
control
our own destiny.
We control our own destiny at this
point.
I do want to say before I go, I think the Spartan Nation right now that we're creating.
I love it.
Yeah,
we got some guys that super fans that are there. We got fans that reach out to us on social media. I love the fact that we had to compete with some Game 7s going on last night in Denver.
Hey, man, we killed it.
And we still had people there
we killed it,
all
man.
in full gear. I love when I see the guys with the helmets on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see everybody come back on May 31st.
Yeah.
Pack the Coliseum.
We want everyone out there.
Yes.
Look, we want 5,000 people. Alex, we want a full court press
Joey,
on our
Joey,
Facebook page.
We'll
be pumping it up.
Hey, give me a second, Joey.
We got 1 minute. Go ahead.
They said I talked to one of the ladies there that we were doing the organization. We were trying to build all the field and everything. I asked her, like, how many fans here? Because they host the state championship for basketball. They stay Disney on Ice. They do a lot of different things. She said, if we can get, I think we can get about 10,000 people. Let's get 10,000 people.
Yes, well, the Coliseum
31st.
holds 9,076.
She said with the ground,
tables on the ground, we can
groundwork,
get you right to 10 grand.
So don't correct me,
All right,
Joey.
man, I love
you
it.
didn't have the conversation.
I love it.
You didn't have the conversation.
9,076,
That's why it's
but
called
on the
final
floor.
word.
I love it.
Listen, let's get 10,000 people out there.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Well, I'll tell you
Let's
what,
get
if we get
10,000
10,000 people, all the tables full, that would be insane. Hey, before we let you go, before we get back, we've got to talk with Corey Henry. We'll be back right after break when you return to the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. The final word.
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special lights and the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us. We get them under our specialty lights. We write up an estimate, submit them to the insurance, get it approved from the insurance, get it in production, get it washed up, and get it back to the customer. We do waive deductibles up to $1,000, and anybody that mentions the Colorado Spartans, we're giving them a $200 gift card. Go Spartans!
I played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey, and guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up, and that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
I feel like that's
I feel like that's their bad, bro.
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez back at the Final Word YouTube channel. We are joined by our good friend Corey Henry, who is number 0 in your programs,
And
but
number 1 in your hearts, Joey.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, thank you. And so, anyway, I invented that phrase, but that's all right.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, so
right.
the best thing I can tell you is Corey is a beast. He's basically been taking up double teams. He's been beating double teams. He's been making it very, very a little easier for Sam Hammond and Byron Cooper. And last night, Jack Robinson
and they all
joined the
communicate, Joe. You all communicate.
Yep. So I'm going to ask you, first of all, did you think that, the first half, it wasn't a typical performance by the Spartans defense? And at first I wondered if it was Coach Shaw, but you just went and elaborated on some things that I thought were very insightful. Talk a little bit about the difference, because you guys shut them out in the second half. And I think the adjustments had been made. What was going on in the first half with their running game, and how did that get shut down in the second half?
Just making adjustments. Just making adjustments and filling gaps when they need to be filled. That's basically it, because we just had to figure out how we can stop that. I get they good at that. When the quarterback get up under the center and he get behind the center and they drive, like they real good at that. So we just had to make sure we're not getting in those situations, because we just figure out a way not to get in that situation and make them throw the ball, because throwing the ball just give us more opportunity to get to doing what we good at, which is pass rushing. So, and you saw when they started doing that, what happened? Interceptions, pressures.
Quarterbacks getting put out of the game.
So they started doing what we actually wanted them to do, which is they was better off still running the ball. We would have stopped it anyways, as you see that we end up making adjustments and
shut them down.
Yeah. So, but I was glad they started passing. That was the worst thing they could have did. So you see what happened to their quarterback.
Yeah, Craig Russell did not make it through the entire game.
He got folded in half.
He got crunched, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what's great about you, Corey, is we first met you a few months ago. We were doing promotions for different sponsorships, and you didn't really talk that much. You didn't speak that much. You're always like, you know what? I'm gonna let my play do my talking for you, and you have. Yeah. And you've opened up to us because we're your boys. All right, we're your guys. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And we appreciate that, because you're a very quiet guy. Coach Payne, you admit to that. He's a quiet guy. And last night you weren't quiet, man. You were rambunctious. You were hunting. You were hungry, man. One of the cool things about being in the corner of the end zone when I'm calling the PA announcing is seeing all you guys coming in and out. We got to kick the field goal. Hey, no, it's an interception. No, it's a foul. You guys were all together. And last night again, was a collective win.
Yeah.
And you're crazy, man. You're crazy. I was going up to you at halftime. I was pounding on your chest and your helmet. I'm like, I thought he was gonna hit me. But you know what? I love the fact that you're opening up. I think maybe this could be something that you could do down the road a little bit, because you like this, man. This is you. Yeah. You're a guy that wants action. And last night you performed it. The entire front three, you guys were driving that quarterback Russell nuts until you guys twisted him in half, man. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for your just opening up to us, because it's not easy sometimes to open up to people, man.
Yeah, because me, Sam, Coop, we gonna win us the championship. So just letting everybody know that. But so Omaha, we beating them.
Yep.
Because they ain't gonna be able to block us. Sioux City, we beating them. They ain't gonna be able to block us. Yep. This a different group compared to when we first started. If you want to look at how we played during the first game, I want to look. So I watched myself on film in Sioux City the last game. I was horrible.
It's okay. You're fine, horrible. Man. There's no FCC on the podcast horrible. Here. Man. You can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I was horrible.
Well, I'm gonna say this though, and the road is different than home. I mean, honestly, it's just the travel. The travel in the NAL is different, man. It's long miles. You're taking a bus. You out there, you missing your bed. I've seen the visiting teams come out here, and you know what, man? It's hard. They look like, and I really want to respect the way the Spartans have treated the visiting teams, because the Spartans haven't been treated as good at the visiting teams.
We haven't, but you got to look. We beat Willing twice. So we went to them. They were supposed to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
We beat them at home.
You took them out, and you beat them here.
Yeah, we beat them here. So, and we was, I feel like we was that was the first game. So in the first game, you always
Yeah, it
trying
was a
to
Monday
figure
night
stuff
game.
There's a
out.
lot of jitters. There wasn't the
Yeah.
real Spartans then, like you said.
Hey, but they got
real quick,
Joey.
real quick,
Hold on,
one-
Joey. They got some hosses though.
Oh yeah, of course. The Wheeling Miners aren't a joke. But
Those
let's
dudes-
first of all, can I talk a little bit about
Hold
the
on a
man in
second. This is
studio
not a
with us?
radio program. Give me a second.
Radio
man.
program. What
Hold
are
on.
you talking
Let me
about,
tell you
man?
real quick. These guys are monsters.
What's wrong with
that
you,
you
man?
guys were playing last night.
Do you feel like
Hold
you're
on,
radio
Joey.
by
I'm not
any chance? Is there a
questioning
radio
him.
or something here?
Listen, I'm asking Corey a question. Those guys are big dudes last night.
No, they're a good team.
Big dudes.
It's not like they're a bad team.
There's no more of this. No more of this.
We
They got a
just
good-
we just end up doing what we do, honestly, because nobody knew the outcome was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be more of a close game, but 41-25. If you're going to look at the first game compared to
Yeah.
this game,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the last game, I think that you had them, that was also a game where you guys were way out in front and they had to catch up to make
Yeah.
it 49-44. This game I thought was a lot more evenly matched in the first and second quarters,
Yeah.
and it was in doubt but then in the fourth quarter, I could see that the Colorado Spartans were going to take control of this. I was going to ask you, talk a little bit about this gentleman in the chair, Coach Payne. Like Tony said earlier, somebody has to take control. Coach Shaw out, Coach Payne in. Talk a little bit about him because I thought Coach Payne did a really good job keeping you guys under control.
Yeah, he did a good job of just managing everything, letting everybody do what they do.
Those are big shoes you had to fill last night, right?
We felt good to do what we do, but he just trusts us to do what we do, call the right plays, and let us just go ball, be honest with you, and not let it. So I don't know if you noticed, nobody, which we never do, turn on each other, get mad or whatever when stuff go. We just sit up there and go out there and ball. So, and he just sit up there and trusted us. That's all you can really do when you're in a situation like that. So, and we went out there and got the win for him. So,
well, we really appreciate Corey Henry coming by. We will be back with Coach Payne. Coming up next, the guy who was a little nervous. I got to spend about 15 minutes before the game. And, hey, man, hopefully my little pep talk kind of helped him out a little bit. But we'll talk with Coach Payne from the Colorado Spartans, the victorious Colorado Spartans, 4-game winning streak. They are now 5-2, headed to the top of the National Division in the National Arena League. We'll be back with Coach Payne when you return to the Final Word YouTube channel or the My Life Sports YouTube channel, The Final Word.
This is madness. Spartans! What is your profession? This is blasphemy. This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. This is Sparta!
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for 3 main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave. Okay, only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to Lowlands agave. Number 2, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, We're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
All right, we are back. Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez, live here from number 38, the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. The Final Word. Thank you so much for listening in. What a great program. Tony Thompson, Jack Robinson, Corey Payne, those guys, Corey Henry, those guys are just a magical group of people. And I guess I call him Corey Payne because our next guest is Coach Payne, a guy who was thrown into the fire real quick last night. And Coach, I'll start by saying, I think the first half, you were like, what am I getting myself into? This was a tough matchup, and the Wheeling Miners came to play. What did you say to those guys at halftime? Because those guys pitched a shutout in the second half. Give us a little bit of that. What was going on in the Spartans locker room? Because I believe it was they were down at halftime, right? Yeah, the Spartans were losing at halftime. I think it was 25-19 or 25-18.
Yeah, we were down 8.
25-17. That's what it was. And the Spartans came out hot.
Went in there, and I let the guys, like last night. It was a players' game. We let those guys just do their thing, and at halftime, we said, hey, how can we simplify this? How can we shut it down? And D-backs wanted to go man-to-man. We were stopped playing that cloud 2, and we just went man-to-man and bodied them up and let the defensive line eat. Obviously, they ate and knocked the quarterback out of the game. And everything changed after that. I saw it in that early third quarter. That defense just started eating, and so much confidence got built with that, and they did their thing.
Let's go back a little bit, though, Coach. You and I had spoken around like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I called you, and I was like, "Hey, man, listen, you have some big shoes to fill tonight. Coach Shaw has built this organization along with Tony, and these players are, under his tutelage, and you're under his tutelage as well. You're a coach that learns from Coach Shaw, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us at the game last night due to some technical difficulties, and we'll get that all straightened out as the season
He's got one more
continues.
week to go.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
good.
Fine. But he gave his full confidence and said, "You know what, Coach Payne's going to do it." And I called you. I said, "Hey, listen, first of all, you got to get a couple things done for some pre-production things," and you delivered that graciously. You delivered all of our lineups, everything that we needed to get done. And I sent you a text last night around midnight because we're all trying to wind down a little bit. What I say to you, Coach, I said, "Hey, I'm proud of you for stepping into a very difficult situation, and it was tough in the first half. And you guys pitched a shutout in the second half. You and I had the Flanagan law firm halftime report right before you went into the locker room, and I said, "Hey, man, what are you going to do? What kind of adjustments are you going to make?" Like, "Hey, man, you just got to make sure that we're still doing everything that we do to our ability." And you guys did it. It was awesome.
And that's the thing. It's like these guys on this team are special. They are very, very
They like
talented.
each other, right?
Yeah,
They really enjoy each
They're
other.
a brotherhood. I'll tell you what, these guys, they're so talented. Like a good, just group of guys that can ball. And I trust everything about this whole team and the leadership on this team within the locker room. And so everything we decided at halftime, it was on them. They came up with it, and they performed it in the second half, and they just absolutely balled out. And it was very, very fun to watch that group.
It was cool to
really
be there.
gel in that second half.
Yep.
Offense was clicking.
Special teams.
Yeah, special teams. Steve made some great plays on the kickoff returns. You know,
Luis Ferreira.
Luis,
Well, the other thing is
Luis
from the
deuces.
television broadcast side of things, it was two different teams in my mind
it was.
between the first and second half. The first half, I think the game was definitely in doubt. I think Wheeling, really made some good progress. Craig Russell's a great quarterback. I mean, this was the best competition I've seen the Spartans face.
Think so, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely, man. They had talent all over that field.
Yeah.
I mean, they were throwing 60-yard bombs.
they were.
This guy had a gun. And the fact of the matter is, the key to me was the Spartans finally put some pressure on the quarterback. And once the pressure came, you got to see some of the flaws in the quarterback. He did throw a couple picks. And the other key play was the deflected interception at the beginning of the second half, which built tremendous momentum. And I thought the Spartans just kind of took it from there and started rolling. Would you say that was a big play in the game?
Man, we jumped every momentum building play that we had. We jumped on it, and we capitalized on it. And I mean, that just demoralized them. They are a good team. A lot of people talk about this semi-pro nonsense.
Dudes, man.
They're a good team. Like,
Munoz, number 22, dude. That dude is just a freak, man. He was all over. He was beating people up.
When I was doing some of the announcements for the dancing team, Munoz came up and kind of like bumped me. I looked at him. I was like,
he's got to be 6'3", 6'4", about 240 pounds.
And we had Corey just on here right now, and they were talking about the twists and the different formations of communication on the defensive line, how they really made a difference to get into Russell. And when they really broke him down and they cut him down, I think it's important that the team really did that on their own in a lot of ways. Cooper, number 10, Sam
Hammond,
who I think could be in the NFL right now. No question about it. I think he could be a backup or at least someone that rotates. And then you got
you got Byron Cooper. Those three guys.
I mean, those guys created havoc, and they were doing a lot of damage to the team. And I think that's at that point. I think you guys kind of took their heart out of it once the quarterback went out, and then you guys, and it was still tough, man. They kept playing. Well, 41-25, Joe.
41-25 in a game that, I'll be honest with you, was a lot closer than that. I mean, I will say this about the other guy who I think you got to really think of is Isaiah Hall. He's kind of the captain of that secondary back there. And that big pick he had late in the game, that kind of sealed everything at the end. And Hall has just done a great job all year long. Talk a little bit about him, because he is just, I think he's your best cover guy.
Kid's a ball hawk. He just knows, where to be. Him and Mosby are like our anchors. Gamby is, I mean, we have
insane.
We have an unbelievable defense. It's talent wise.
I think it's the best in the league. I think it's the best in the league.
I mean, Hall he's a ball hawk. He knows how to play the ball in the air and all that stuff. Like literally, that was I think the whole game was built on when we went to man in the second half and just shut them down.
Yep.
They were done running that, little hitch routes and all that. And our defense, like Coop, was a huge leader last night.
Sure, he dropped back into linebacker, played a whole different position, and you wouldn't know he didn't miss a beat. Well, he didn't miss a beat.
He's used to it, and we practice it. We shift him back in practice and let him get some reps at linebacker quite a bit during practice, and so it's a natural position for him. We just rather have him at the D end because he's just creates so much havoc.
He's more versatile.
He's just such
last
a
one
pass
for
rush.
me, Coach. I just want to tell you real quick, since our conversations that we had, even before yesterday, you've always been really, up forward with Joey and I before the games and everything that we need for media purposes and obligations that you don't really. That's not really your job. You go out and extend yourself to do that for us. When I talked to you yesterday again, we were talking and you sounded really confident. And I talked to Coach Shaw this morning, and he said, I want to make sure that Coach Payne gets his flowers, and I'm going to also give Coach Shaw his flowers, because without his tutelage, you would not have been able to do what you did last night. And I think once he's back and you guys are back in full force, I'm scared to see what's going to be.
So I got a question. I got a quick question. So Does Shaw, he has to miss 2 games. So this next week doesn't count in the suspension, right? Because I was hoping he kind of got lucky because, sometimes in college football, they'll give a guy like a 2-week suspension, but one of them will be a bye week and it'll count. Not the case. Hey, listen, congratulations. First of all, that's your first professional coaching victory in the National Arena League. Congratulations. Let's go for number 2,
Hey,
2 weeks from now. And Idaho, it looks like the 15th, right?
Yeah, 15th.
So let's get everybody, watch the game on the YouTube channel. Follow the Spartans.
All these guys aren't going to Cancun,
no,
are
they aren't, man. Who knows where they're going? But let me just say
okay
this.
if they do. But
May 31st. Hey, May 31st, man. The Colorado Spartans are back to face the Omaha Beef. And you know what? We need that stadium
Joey,
packed.
I'm going to
10,000 people.
I'm going to make sure
everybody fill it up.
Personally, on our sports page, on our marketing,
that
we get at least between 8 and 10,000 people to build that game, because that is going to be the game of the year. It's going to be a game that will determine a lot for the future of the Spartans. And I just want to say, Coach Payne,
good
what's
luck,
up,
Coach.
man?
Good luck.
I
Hey,
love
when
you,
we get
brother.
back, we have our good friend Bill Foss. He'll wrap it up when you return to the final word on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez.
Spartans! What is your profession? Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for 3 main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave, okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to Lowlands agave. Number 2, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito Tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
I played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
Facebook page? No. Hey, Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez. Hey,
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez back in the show.
And what a great show we've had so far in the Mile High Sports YouTube page. Want to thank everybody for listening, especially during our technical difficulties. It's been a crazy show for us. Right now, I can say that the one stabilizing force in the show is our man, Bill Foss from Suavecito Tequila. And Bill, you know what's great about you? You know, we had technical difficulties earlier. We're sorry to keep you waiting, but you knew these guys had to catch a flight for the Spartans today.
Right.
I want to say thanks so much for waiting a little longer than your usual segment. Your lovely wife B out there. Thank God we had a little bit of fun and drinks to take us through that time. Hey, you've been a Spartan sponsor as well. As our sponsor. Spartans with their 4th straight victory last night. They moved to 5-2.
Great game.
I thought it was a great game. Talk a little bit about how much you enjoyed last night.
Well, again, as a former college football player, I know the game and I know it very well. I even coached it at the junior college level for a few years. I was worried at halftime. You know, they're down. They just didn't have a whole lot of offense. It made me nervous. And, whatever the coach told them at halftime really worked because they came out the second half and played outstanding football.
Yeah, and you know what? Real quick, I want to make sure that we get this out of the bag. Bill Foss last weekend was hit with the football sitting in the arena, and he actually came in the following day to do the show with us here at number 38. Bill, first of all, everybody's been asking us, how are you feeling? How's I mean, you look good. You look way better than last Sunday because your eye was
almost shut.
Yeah, and you still had the moxie to come in here and do your thing, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Only because I was watching the game on the, what do you call that?
The Jumbotron.
Jumbotron.
Yeah.
You know, and so when the opposing quarterback rolled out and threw a errant ball, I couldn't see it on the Jumbotron, and as I turned my head, it hit me right in the eye.
Wow.
Okay? If I wouldn't have to be watching the game on the Jumbotron, I could have caught it, knocked it down. I could have protected myself.
Right.
But I didn't. My eye, a week later, my eye is still very bloodshot.
Yep.
I've got some blood pooling
Yeah.
about an inch or two below my eye.
Oh.
But the emergency room doctors who interviewed me, who tested me, all said that all the tests they ran me through 2 big tests and then a CT scan.
Yeah.
And they said all 3 of them came out negative.
Oh,
and
good.
that, within, they said it'll take 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks for me to get my color back and, and then the swelling down and the blood gone, but they said I'll be okay.
And
Well, that's the greatest thing in the world to hear.
And last night you were sitting on the side of the end zone. Yes, Joe, I can speak too. You were sitting on the side of the end zone because we didn't want to position you in the middle like that was last time.
It's a smart idea.
Yeah. So again,
very smart.
Yeah, very smart. And you had the entire family out last night, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. My beautiful wife had her daughter and grandchildren. They came out. They live in Woodland Park and drove all the way just to come to the game. We went out to dinner before the game and then sat at the game. And when they left, they said they were so happy. It was so much fun, and the game was so exciting. So they were really happy. It was a nice evening.
Well, the one thing, I think the game was definitely in doubt, and I think that made it more fun. The first 2 games were blowouts. I mean, I think the first game was 69-18 against the Las Vegas Kings. Then you had 49-0 versus the Idaho Horsemen. But these last 2 games versus the Columbus Lions and then last night versus the Wheeling Miners, those were really exciting games. And I think that's why people are going to start coming down to the Denver Coliseum in droves. I interviewed several fans last night after the game who were just thrilled with the action. They were on the field. You were there with your lovely family. I thought it was really exciting. Alex did a great job with the players of the game. I thought that vibe was really special last night, and I think that's what's going to resonate. And people are going to leave that kind of environment and tell their friends, hey, the Colorado Spartans are, a real exciting team. I expect a full house on the 31st.
Yes, let's hope so. They deserve it without a doubt.
Yeah, no question about that, Bill. I mean, last night's game, I think it was really, again, as we talked to Tony earlier, these are organizational victories. These aren't like single victories where one player does it all. It's a team victory all the way from the top, from the ownership group to the sponsorship group with Bill Foss and Jimmy Suds and all the other 200 sponsors that support the Colorado sponsors.
It's a big number, 200 sponsors.
Big number. If you listen to the arena,
Oh yeah.
you hear my commercials after one after another. I'm like, okay, I had to record like 1,500 of those things, but it's okay. That's part of the process. But listen, Bill, this organization now is building like you guys are. You guys are all over the place. You guys are at Total Wine. Talk about your relationship with Total Wine and how we can get your tequilas. Joey, the lineup real quick, please.
Well, it's the best in the business. It is the Blanco, the Reposado, the Cristalino, the Anejo, and the Extra Anejo. And they've added the 6th man of the year, and it's only seasonal. You'll find it at some local Total Wine.
I've tried it.
It is the single barrel Anejo, and it's the best tequila I've ever had in my life, period.
It's strong.
Bar none. I don't care if it is strong. It's 106 proof. 53%
You can start your car with that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what,
No,
it's
you
the
can't.
best tasting tequila. Talk a little bit about your starting 5 and the 6th man of the year, the single barrel Anejo.
Oh no, tequila experts around the United States all rank Suavecito tequila as the #1 tasting tequila sold in America. Okay. And when Americans find out that a guy here in Denver, Colorado is the guy that makes it, they can't believe it. But I own an agave farm about an hour and a half south of Guadalajara. I bought it 24 years ago when I retired.
Yep.
I have mountain grown agave, which is superior to lowlands agave. Then I extra age all my tequilas. A Reposado needs to be aged 2 months in a barrel. I age it 9 months. An Añejo needs to be aged 1 year in a barrel. I age it 2 years. Extra Añejo needs to be aged 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging gives it more flavor, more texture, more aroma. And then last but not least,
I'm liking it. I'm thinking of doing it.
Let's talk about that 2% nectar that goes back.
Exactly. I'm the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. And I add that 2% agave nectar back in because it eliminates the burn going down your throat. It makes us the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
Joey, I didn't say that. Who said that?
Well, Forbes magazine said it. And you know what? One other thing that I will say for Alex and me is Alex always says when the teams do better, everybody does better. And of course, a big win last night for the Denver Nuggets. You'll be out there, right? 5 blocks away from Ball Arena. You'll be seeing everybody go in there for game 3. And Dion and I are going to be going. We bought tickets for game 3. I'm excited. First time I've ever attended a semifinal game with my son. And I think that Suavecito Tequila has got to be on the menu for all these games, right?
I would say go to Bill's place before you go to the arena.
Yeah. I don't know. I got my 10-year-old, so I'm not sure about that. But I will say Suavecito Tequila makes every game better, right?
Oh, there's no question about it. And as you're saying that, I'm starting to laugh because I have friends that go to, because I live downtown.
Yes.
And you can walk to the baseball stadium, the hockey and basketball stadium.
Yes.
I have friends that call me up because they can also park for free in the condo building that I'm at.
Yep. And go upstairs and have a couple cocktails. Joey,
exactly.
If your local restaurant or bar doesn't have it,
you demand it.
Joey, if your watering hole across the street doesn't have
you
it,
demand it.
And guess what? Number 38, I saw Bill talking to the management staff right now.
Yeah, we're demanding
that we
want it here. We want it right here.
Absolutely.
Right now. He's had a good relationship with Bill as well. Yep. Let's get this tequila in here at number 38. Bill, last night you said you came over. You were going to go to the game before you stopped by here. It looked like spring break here, right?
Oh boy, did it ever!
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't park within a mile.
Right.
The place was mobbed and packed with people. It was so exciting to see how many people were here. Yeah. So I had to drive back downtown and park at my place to go to dinner.
Well, and so what? Because that's why we're here. That's why Nate Lundy bought it here. Hey, listen, man, before we go, I want to tell everybody next Sunday, it is Mother's Day. We will not have a show. So I want to get everybody's kind of thoughts on the Nuggets versus Oklahoma City. Of course, the Avalanche lost last night. We won't get into that with you.
Where's that broom,
but
Joe?
Yeah, I think that will the Nuggets. Well, a lot of people, to Alex's point, the Thunder is minus 800 to win the series, which is ridiculously. I mean, they're big favorites.
Big favorites.
Can the Nuggets pull off a miracle versus Oklahoma City, Bill?
The thing is, they can, but will they? It's gonna be tough. Oklahoma is the best basketball team in pro basketball. The Nuggets are towards the top. Obviously, we just won our series. Let's hope we can win at least one game in Oklahoma when we come back home.
All right, and Alex, you don't sound very confident. You said get a broom out, and I'm not very. I don't think many people are confident.
For like a week, man.
Yeah, they also won the 8th most games, to Bill's point, 68-14, the 8th most wins in NBA history.
What's interesting
for regular season,
SGA and Joker will be going. The MVP candidates will be going, and I believe what I read. I believe it's the 21st of May.
Yeah, they're going to give the MVP. And it's a 90% chance Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to win the MVP. The odds are that strongly in his favor. Yeah. He's minus 400. My son is saying Jokic should win. Hey, listen, that is it for us this week. We want to say thank you to all our friends, family, and sponsors. Some big news coming around the corner. And also a big shout out to our good friend Anthony Paulson, who we met with yesterday from Plunge Plus. Yep. I want to say thank you for believing in us. He's a new keeping a new agreement with us for the next 2 years for all your plumbing needs. Please go to plungeplus.com. You've got to be there, man. And a big shout out to our good friend Nick Archulette. Nick Arch behind the glass. He dealt with major adversity today. Nick, thanks so much for getting us on the air.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man. Technical difficulties, no fun.
I called Nick last night at the around midnight because I couldn't get. I was too wired up.
Yeah, hyped up.
And I was mentioning that you and I, Nick, are we have a unique triangle friendship that we're cool dudes. He does a lot for us, and he's also part of the broadcast.
He's a great guy, man, and
he's
we wouldn't
part
be
of the
on the air
final word
without
team.
Nick.
So without Nick,
there's no final word, man, and we really appreciate you, Nick.
We read you hard, so brother. We read you hard, brother.
Hey, man, I know it's not always fun dealing with Alex and I, but
especially
hey, man,
Joe's crazy.
We care about the show, man. We love the show. We love our audience. We love everything, and we want it to be perfect every Sunday for each and every one of you. Come on down and join us. 2 weeks from today, we'll be talking Spartans football and hopefully Nuggets, Oklahoma City, because in 2 weeks, if the Nuggets are still playing, we're gonna have a party here.
Oh yeah,
Bill. What do you want, man? He said they could, but he hasn't really. He's kind of said he's not sure of it.
Not sure,
but
Bill, but they can, and I hope they do. Know that I'm behind them 100%.
Hey, if the Nuggets beat Oklahoma City, I will say this: they're going to win the NBA.
If the Nuggets beat Oklahoma City,
they will win the NBA
championship.
All right, man.
Agreed.
For Joe Rico, Alex Mears, our great friend Bill Foss, Nick Arch behind the glass, Tony Thompson, Jack Robinson, Corey Henry, our good friend Coach Payne, and the amazing group of people and Tony Thompson, the amazing group of people at the Colorado Spartans. Thank you, Colorado. Our great friends Nate Lundy and all the people.
Trocho, Danny Bailey, Doug Ottewell, man.
We love you, Colorado. Crew, man. Make sure you're listening to the Mile High Sports YouTube channel every single day.
We can say this because it's not FCC. We love this shit, man.
Yes,
we love this.
We love it. We love the studio. We love
everything, man. It's only going to go up from here.
Hey, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another version of the final word on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel.
Mile High Sports Spartans.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was fun.